Hello. It's been a minute and I haven't really been having anything to talk about, honestly. Life has just been moving a little fast for me. So it's like I barely have been having time to even sit the fuck down and talk. Today I have an interview. So I'm gonna go to the interview, maybe go sit outside, maybe we'll talk then. I don't know. But for the time being, there's not really much that I'm really struggling with. It's more so a lot of things are going right. And I think because of that, I don't really have much to say, but I've been saying I don't want this channel to be like a channel where it's just like me complaining. And I wouldn't even call it complaining, but me just talking about all the conflicting things, I guess. And not to mention, I don't know. I don't know. I've been like, I wouldn't call it sick. I don't think I'm sick because it doesn't feel like I'm sick. But I've been dealing with the cough lately and it's been so fucking annoying. But it's like I've been seeming to have like a grasp or a hold over it. But like because of this cough, it gets in the way of how well I could, how strong my voice can be, dealing that I've, or being that I've been working with children. You know, kids are loud. And I can't compete these days. I cannot compete these days. And maybe this is a good thing. Maybe it's supposed to help me preserve my voice. Who knows? Or just preserve, I guess, my throat chakra. Who the fuck knows? But that's probably the only thing that I've like been irritated about these days. Other than that, everything has been going pretty well. Yeah, I don't have any like, I might have some really profound things to say, but I can't think of it right now. Not on spot. Um, Hold on. Anything we could make this a moment for me to really just congratulate myself and speak on how proud I am. You know, things have really changed. It really has. Like, especially being that a year ago I was like in a place where I just felt, what is the word? I guess incomplacent. I don't know if that's the word, but it sounds like it should be the word. So I've just been feeling really out of place, out of touch, and like kind of lost in the head. But these days it's feeling like, I understand my place, even if my place isn't near everyone else's. And, something that I can say is I'm realizing how um, not self sufficient, but I guess independent. I don't know if independent is the word either. It's just I'm realizing that, or maybe I can say there's kind of like a strain in my mind when I realize that there's a lot of things that I have to do alone. I'm not gonna lie, it don't. I was about to say it bothers me, not as much as to a point where it's like, ugh, I hate life. It's not that. It just, I guess, like upon first thought, I'm a little startled behind it. But it's like when I really pay attention to the logistics of everything, I'm like, well, you've been doing everything alone anyway. So like, what's the difference? But I guess I'm just getting to a point where I don't know. I just like companionship. I really do. I like when there's like people around sometimes, especially being like people that I could be myself around. I feel like as of lately, I've just been around people, and I don't say that in a sense that it's just like I'm around um, people that are like similar to me or people that understand me or people that are in the same walk as me. I'm just around people these days. And I say that because one, my family, two, my little sister just graduated, so I was around hella people, and it was a lot of incompatibility. Uh, Working, I work in all these different places, so it's like I'm seeing all these different people to travel to work. All these, it's like I'm literally just kind of floating amongst everyone, and them being in their own world and me being in my own. I don't know how to make it make sense, but it's just like um I'm functioning in the world with everyone else. I just don't know if at this moment I feel like I have anyone else. But it's so crazy because I literally had a dream yesterday where I was graduating and like everybody was there. When I say everybody, like everybody I'm not gonna say everybody I've ever known, but it just felt like everybody that was there were family. And the person that I remember the most was my Aunt Jackie. She was there, but in real life, Aunt Jackie is dead. So in my dream, that didn't register to me. It just seemed as if, everybody was there. All the people that are deceased that I once really knew as a child, they were there, and we were gathering in a circle to like pray or congregate, whatever the fuck, consecrate, whatever. We was gathering in a circle or whatever. And as we did that, they had commended her on a dissertation that she wrote about depression. And I looked over to her and I'm like, damn, like that sounds like that would be something very interesting to read on her behalf, like coming from her perspective and her thoughts. It was like a personal thing that she wrote, because in that dream I just had an understanding of that was something that she dealt with or something that she battled with. Now, in Jackie in real life, I was a child when I knew her, and I was also a child when she died. So I don't know if she was like dealing with those things or battling with those things, but I do know the role that she played within the family versus how everybody treated her. So going back to the dream, I was just like, damn, like I kind of want to read that. Like when we done with this, when we done with all of this, with this graduation and stuff, I need to get into that so I could like, see how things or how she views things from her own personal perspective. And then after the prayer, well, okay, another thing was I was not dressed. I was actually naked. So I was naked. I was waiting on, I guess, it being time to go before I was like, okay, I'm gonna get dressed. Or I think I didn't even have like the decision on which dress I was gonna wear. But my Aunt Jackie, she literally said, don't wear that blue dress. I think you need to wear the red one. So I'm like, okay. And in my mind, I'm thinking I did wear this blue dress before, so let me just wear the red one. But come to think about it, my actual graduation, I did wear a red dress. So that's interesting. But when I looked up what that could mean, they were saying blue represents like the emotional state, and yeah, and red is more of like a fierce, I wouldn't say forceful, but more it's like red is kind of like making a statement. Red is making your presence known in a sense, but like being assertive about it, Um, not all the time red is associated with good things, but there are good things that come with the color red. And these days, I feel like that is a color that's kind of prominent within my family, because that's something that when we are going to go celebrate things or going to do things or dressing up in general, that's always like one of the first colors we think to choose is red, just because of how big of a statement and how just right there and in your face it is, And I just come from the type of family where we look good as fucking red. That's just that. But yeah, so she was like, you don't need to wear that blue dress. Wear the red one. So that was that. And then I gotta look, cause we sung a song. We were singing a song. And this is literally right before I woke up. The song said, I don't feel bad. I'm just by myself. The time will make it, but I won't let that interrupt. In the dream, I felt like I felt that so fucking hard that they were singing the song, but I'm literally picking up my phone to search it up on Apple Music so that I could screenshot that specific lyric and like post that on my spam or something. Just to, that's just the shit I do. But literally I never got the chance to screenshot it in the dream, but I woke up literally then and there. I woke up and I put that in my notes. And I don't remember the rhythm of how it went. And saying it out loud now, I don't even know if it would make sense for like the masses. I don't even, it's probably not supposed to make sense for everybody else. But it was just basically saying, never feel bad. Well, I don't feel bad for being alone. You know, during this moment, I've actually been able to kind of get closer with my loneliness. I wouldn't even say loneliness is like a feeling that kind of hurts to feel for me. I don't even truly feel loneliness anymore these days. It's just more of a it's just more of a I can't even say what it is because I haven't felt loneliness since the last time I literally broke it down in my head and was like, let's try to understand this. Because I think everybody's loneliness is unique. I feel like some people or certain people feel lonely for a reason. I feel like that's a feeling you're supposed to explore, or a feeling that you're supposed to kind of understand, because that's probably the part of you that make you unique from everybody else. I don't think anybody is supposed to be like everybody else. I've never thought that, but we definitely live in a world where everything has to be so fucking uniformed. Everybody has to think the same way. Everybody has to have the same morals. Everybody has to have the same things that they want to do, or the same beliefs, or this and that and that and this. And I feel like that's what makes the world a lot more judgmental. That's what makes the world a lot more harder to live in, because then you have these people that feel like, you know, they don't belong here, or you have these people that feel like they're not really accepted. And even within families, like, you have people that, or you have families that judge people that are not like the rest of the family, instead of allowing that person to kind of teach y'all to branch off into something different. And I feel like that also gets in the way of change, because everybody wants to be the same all the time. Nobody wants to change. Everybody wants to stick to what they're used to. Everybody wants to stick to certain routines. And that's how they get you. That's how they get you. That's how they lock you in a box. And that's what makes you feel like, oh, you're not supposed to do this, or you can't do this. You know, it's that fucking deep. And it gets even more deeper than what the fuck I just explained. And it goes further out than the simple way I just placed it. You know, so yeah, these days I am content about being alone, because being alone allows me to be able to understand and explore not just myself, but the world in general. I feel like if I would have sat here waiting on other people to reach out to me, or other people to include me, or other people to understand me, I would still be sitting and feeling the same way that I felt a year ago. Even after graduating college, even after having that big ass accomplishment that everybody speaks so graciously about, I would have been continuing to feel the same way that I felt last year. And I'm just kind of glad that I did not allow what everybody was saying in those moments to like really get to me. I do feel like everything that I've ever heard in those moments have taught me something, but it wasn't a matter of me allowing myself to be viewed from those lenses. It's like I'm walking in my own lens, or I'm doing what I see fit for myself, but like, you know, I'm not, well, basically I'm taking everything that they say with a grain of salt. I'm not just counting on everybody's feedback to have some type of transformation within my life. But it's like, I hear you, you know, I hear you. And so, yeah, that's how I've been feeling lately. I think my brain has got to a point where it's like, oh, I more expanded, that I am thinking to do a lot more things now these days. At first, it was kind of hard because I was feeling like I really couldn't go anywhere outside this room. And then it got to a point where I was like, okay, let me start going outside. Let me start, you know, riding my bike, doing stuff like that. People be giggling at the fact that I'll be on this bike, and people actually giggle at a lot of the shit that I say, but they're not understanding how profound these things make me as a person. Seriously, it really helps my mind. I feel like if I didn't do these things, I would morph into a terrible person. I would be an asshole. I would morph into a terrible person. I would be so miserable inside. I wouldn't be the same fucking Kaylin that they knew. I'm probably not the same Kaylin now, but like I'm a much like grown version of who I once, or who these people once knew me to be. So like all these things are necessary. And it's like some people don't understand, or at that moment they can't fathom. I'm not shaming anybody. I get it, because at a certain period of time, yeah, I got shit to say too, but it's like when you're in a specific when you're in a specific situation, you know, you gotta do what the fuck you gotta do. And you just gotta block out what everybody else is saying. And if you genuinely want to get somewhere with your own fucking life, you literally have to stop fucking paying attention to what everybody else is saying. And if it takes you getting off of social media, if it takes you going MIA, whether niggas think, oh my God, is she okay? Is she okay? Like, it be like that sometimes. But I think the type of life that I live, I kind of progressively gotten myself to this point that if I do come up missing, niggas know, like, she probably just like chilling somewhere. She probably just trying to get her mind right. Ain't nothing wrong with her. She's fine. You know, I kind of got people, or I kind of conditioned people to know not to sit up there and blow my motherfucking phone up. But yeah, girl, that's just life. Ain't nothing wrong with being alone. Like, it takes some time to get there, because literally, like, when I say a year ago, I was like just coming out of a friendship where I was like so heavily codependent on her, and it was kind of bad. But yeah, it's crazy to say that now I live a life where I don't need nobody. And it feels good to know that you don't need nobody. It feels good to actually say that and mean it. Because it's like, if I need to get up, I can just get up and do it. I don't have to sit around waiting on nobody. I don't have to keep trying to consider nobody. I don't have to do none of that. I can just get up and go. Yeah, but that's that. It's crazy how I didn't really expect to have anything to say, but kind of went on a whole tangent. Anywho, thank you for watching. I love you. Goodbye.